Alright, let's try this again. Let's see what we have here. This is 12x plus 2. Is that what it says? Yeah. 12x plus 2. This one on the bottom is just x. This one is x plus 1. And this one is 10x.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you do x, and then
This one?
yeah.
Okay.
X, and then in parentheses 12x plus 2
Alright.
equals 10x,
Okay.
parentheses x plus 1.
Alright.
Okay.
Everybody see why we do that? Look, because when they intersect inside the circle, they form these two segments, right? This secant forms these two segments. So I take this one times this one, and then that equals the product of these two. So I multiply this one times this one, and then just multiply them together, set them equal to each other, and then solve for x, and I'll be good to go.
And just a reminder to all students and teachers, we do have Jeans for $1 Day tomorrow. You can wear jeans on Wednesday as long as you dress in a color for the type of cancer that you're supporting the fight against, and please see the email that we sent out for those colors. And also Thursday is dress down day. Just a reminder, no sweatpants at all for any of those days.
Alright, ready? Distribute. So here we go. We got 12x squared plus 2x equals 10x squared plus 10x. Let's just do it like this. Subtract 10x squared from both sides. That's 2x squared. Let's bring this 10x over here to the left, so that if we subtract a 10x, we subtract a 10x, that's minus 8x, equals 0, right? What we could do here is you could divide everything by 2. A couple ways you could approach this. I'll tell you what, let's kind of do this more of an Algebra 1 way. What's the greatest common factor between these two?
2x.
A 2x. So let's factor out a 2x. What do we have left if I factor out a 2x from this? X minus what? 4, right, equals 0. So much easier?
Yeah.
I bet you it's not so much easier.
Well,
Can't imagine another easier way to do that.
No, because like I subtracted the 10x squared from the 12x squared.
That's what I did.
Yeah, and then I subtracted 2x and got
Subtracted 2x.
yeah. From,
What, to make this 8x over here?
Yeah, so 2x squared equals 8x.
Right.
And divide by 2.
Yeah.
X squared equals 4.
Yeah.
So divide by x. And you got,
What's easier about that? I mean, it's the
you
same
have
amount of
the
steps.
factor.
It's the same amount of steps.
I
Alright, I don't think it's any easier. So watch what you have to do. In algebra, what do we do? When we have two things, when you have a product, two things that are being multiplied together and it's equal to 0. Everybody watching? So we have to go this. 2x equals 0 and x minus 4 equals 0. This is technically what you have to do. You could do some of this stuff in your head, but I'm going to write it out. So what's x equal to here? 0. What's x equal to here? 4. So you actually get two answers. So if this was an Algebra 2 problem, or even an Algebra 1 problem, then you would circle both of those and that would be your answer. But this is not just a regular algebra problem. What are we trying to find? We're trying to find lengths, aren't we? And x is from here to here. Is there any way you can have a length of something to be 0? No. Alright, so we're going to forget the 0 and just consider the 4. Everybody okay with that? So that's a good problem to show you how to get. There are two solutions for this, because if you wanted to, you could put a 0 in for this and it'll work. Right? Because look, put a 0 in for this. It doesn't matter what it is. What's happening? It's being multiplied by 0, isn't it? What about this? Put a 0 in for this. 10 times 0 is 0, no matter what this is. So 0 equals 0. So 0 is a solution, but it's not going to be one of our answers because we're trying to find specifically the length of a line segment. So I'll never use 0 and I'll never use a negative as an answer for a line segment. Does that make sense? All right. I think it was important to go through all that. I really do. Even though you think you did it a lot easier, I don't really think it was much easier. I think it was pretty much the same thing. And usually that's the case. When somebody says, oh, I did it a lot different and it's so much easier, and then if we compare them, they're really about the same. Okay. Now sometimes students do show me something. I'm like, oh, you know what? I do like that way better. And if you show me a way that I think is better, we'll do it that way. I'm all about doing it the easiest and the best way, aren't you?
Yep.
All right, what else we have? Anything else on this study guide? That was it?
So
34?
no.
No? Yes? All right, let's do 34. Because that's a little bit different. That other one was fairly straightforward. This one's a little bit different. So they talk about this whole deal about finding this plate under the ground, and then it's like cut off. It's not the whole entire plate. They only see this portion of the plate and all this kind of thing. All right, and let's do this. And they measured a few distances here. Now I took it all the way to the radius because I want this to be what? If I took the radius, I'm sorry, we won't say that. It's perpendicular. If that's perpendicular, this would go through the radius. Or not, I keep saying the radius, the center. Why do I keep saying that? Right, it goes through the center. Would you agree? All right, and so what do they tell you? Now they tell you this is 2 and 2. So if they just measured, remember what this is. This is a plate that's been cut off, right? And so it's cut off right here. If I measure from this point to this point, the whole thing would be 4, which would make this 2, and would make that 2 as well, wouldn't it? And what's that part up and down? 0.75. So this up and down part right here is 0.75. It's supposed to be a decimal. Kind of looks weird. All right, so that's 0.75. And what are we trying to find? We're trying to find the circumference of this whole entire plate, this whole circle. Now remember, they didn't pull the plate out of the ground and it was all intact. Remember, it was broken, right? So it's like broken right here. So none of this stuff right here really exists. Okay, this is just, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of a not explorer, what do you call these guys, that archaeologist or something, right, and digging up stuff, whatever. So what are we trying to do? Find the circumference. Well, what's circumference equal to? Well, it's equal to, yeah, it's 2 pi r, or what? Pi d, pi times the diameter. So it would be nice if we had the diameter, wouldn't it? Okay, or the radius. So let's think about this. I could probably draw this all the way down, right? Because if it's perpendicular, it must be part of the diameter. Would you agree? Okay, if it's perpendicular to this, it must go through the center, and if I take it all the way down to the end of the circle, that would be a diameter right here. Now look what we have. This is very similar to what we just finished doing, isn't it? Because we have, we have 2 secants. I've got to get my thoughts straight. We got 2 secants that intersect inside the circle. So what did we just say? Those segments that are broken up, the product of these 2 equals the product of these 2. Now I don't know what it is from here down to here, do I? So let's just call it something. Let's call it x. Is that all right? Now it's not the diameter, is it? It's not the radius. It's just some value that, let's just move it right there. Is that all right? There we go. So that's what we're going to solve for right now. Now how can we solve for that? Well, let's do different colors. I'm tired of this white already. Okay, so let's do this. We go x times 0.75, which is just 0.75x, equals this times this, 2 times 2, which is 4. Divide by 0.75, and that's what? Is that 3? It's 4 divided by 3/4, right? So it's 4 times 4/3. That's 16/3, whatever. Okay, I was thinking it was going to come out even. So what is it? 4 divided by 0.75. Okay, 5.3. All right, because 4th, yeah. Let's do that. What did I say it was again? 5.3. Okay, so we'll say 5.3. That's good enough. Okay, but that's not. How does that help us?
That's the length of that whole thing.
That's the length of this.
Add
Yeah, add it to the 0.75, and I got what?
The day.
I got the whole diameter. So if I wanted to find the whole diameter, it would be 5.3 plus what? 0.75. And so what's that? It's 5. It's a 0. That's a 6. Did I do that right? So that whole diameter is 6.05. Now that definitely helps. Now I can just multiply that number by pi. So the circumference is pi times 6.05, and you should get that answer, which is what? 19.1? Okay. You can do that yourself, can't you? On the calculator. There it is. Make sense? So we had a few steps to go through, but I think after you realized how to find this segment right there, the rest of it wasn't that hard to figure out how to get the diameter. All right, it was just getting this segment. And that was right from the lesson. And the nice thing about the study guide is they tell you what lesson it covers, right? So if you get stuck on how to do something, you could always go back, you know, to that particular lesson and say, what were they studying that lesson? Maybe I should use that. Now, of course, a test, I don't tell you each section that each question is from, but on the study guide they do. We good? Anything else? Last chance. Now's the time to ask.
Number
Okay.
31.
31. Oh, photography problem. Alright, so we got a circle here. Make it just a little bit bigger.
ACB just be 360 minus 72.
Yeah, that's okay. The answer's 146.
They say it's 146, but I have written down that it's 140.
Oh, we got that for 30. So it was wrong.
I got
Oh, really? 30, it says it's 56. I have written down in pen, and I got 146 marked off, and I have 140. Joanna, what'd you get for 31? Number 31. Did you get 140? Or 140? For number 31. What'd you get? You got 170 something? Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I
You got 170 something?
Yeah.
What other numbers? Like, what'd you get for 31?
David got 146.
You got 140? Good. I'll stick with Leah because that's what I have written in my book. So we'll see if that's right or not. So what do we have? We got a point outside the circle, right? We got a tangent drawn. So right there is a tangent, and right there is a tangent. Okay? Says so the line of sights form tangents to it. Okay, if the measure of the camera's angle of view is 34 degrees. Did you? Good. So you guys are all on my side now. So that's 34 degrees. This is 72 degrees. And you're asking for arc ACB, which is A, C, and then this right here is where it hits the circle, B. Alright? Make sense? Alright, so what's the rule when it intersects outside the circle? Well, you actually have two arcs that are formed here, don't you? You've got this 72 and this ACB. Let's try to trace around this thing. Okay, so you got this arc, and then you have this arc. Oh my goodness. They are tangents, yes.
360 minus 72.
That's how you find, well,
I don't
I
think
don't know
those
if
numbers are.
so measure camera, what is arc ACB?
Yeah, but you don't get the right answer.
Wait a minute. Let's think about
I got
this.
288. I think that's
I think
really
they're
not
right.
real. I
You don't think
that
they're
they
real?
just put in two random numbers.
David got it right for 146. I mean.
I got 2.
If you do the math and you get
Well, it says what's arc ACB, right?
As long as those are
360 minus 72.
So it should just be 360 minus 72, right?
Just
288.
Just 288.
Well, why in the world did I have those? It should be. This should be 360 minus 72, right? Because it just says it's 72 and it hits at a tangent. So why did I have 140? I know what I did.
So it is
You
288.
did the math right, but if you did,
Probably
Doesn't
their
the book
numbers.
show you how to do it?
the book's
Uh-uh.
just being correct.
No, they just have an answer.
That's
Let's. Yeah, it should just be 3. Oh, why is that so big? Because of this. 360. Shh. 360. What? Minus 72, right? And that's what it should be. And that's what would you say that was?
288.
288. Nice. 5. 15. 2. Yeah. Okay. I think that's what it should be. Is that what you said, Joanna? 288? What'd you say?
I did
got
360 minus 72 minus.
Alright, so why does the book say 146 and then I crossed it out and I say 140? What's going on?
Because
Oh,
they
it's
just
about
put two
170
random
something.
numbers in there. They didn't put numbers that like made sense.
Well, it's not just random numbers. I mean, because, this is a certain number to figure out what this is. Because this has,
That's obviously 70.
He said that he got 146 though, so how did he do it?
Oh, so what did you get?
I did.
the thing is this. If we call this X,
They probably
What's
want you
the
to
deal?
plug it into the tangent
It's
like thing.
yes,
Like,
right. So what's it say? It says the angle, right,
Oh, what's the difference
34,
between that?
is equal to, guys, hey, we're not doing that. Okay, just because we're talking about a problem here doesn't mean you guys go buck wild and do whatever you want. Okay, let's join in together. Just because I'm trying to figure something out, I don't ever understand why students do that. Okay, this is not free time. So help me out a little bit, and let's try to figure out why we're getting all these different answers, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we might learn something. I don't know. I think maybe they just gave us something wrong or something. I just don't know. Let's figure this out. Okay, well, that's what we're trying to do right here. So what's the formula on that say? So if you look on that, what lesson was this from?
It's in the example thing, I think.
It's even in the example?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not? Never mind.
Which one is this? 30 what? 31, right?
Never mind. Never mind.
It's right.
Yeah, so it's half of the difference of these, right? So this angle should be half of the difference of these two, right? Half of the difference of these two. So it should be what? 288, right? Minus 72, correct? Oh, well, let's say we don't know it's 288 yet. Well, let's.
I put X.
Yeah, it should be. But let's just put an X there. But I mean, you're right. If that's 72, that's got to be the rest of 360. I'm not sure why. What's going
Well,
on?
like the orange, it might not be on full circle. Like you know how it's like
Oh,
it's
wait.
orange.
Oh.
I'm just because in the picture it doesn't look like it's like an oval.
I think they're making the assumption that the orange is circle because we don't know anything about ovals, do we?
Yeah, we
We haven't. So I don't know. Let's just see this. What do we get? So if multiplied by 2, that's what? 68. I add a 72, and that's a 10, 13. That'd be 140. So
Yeah,
I got to think about this. Yeah, I don't think they put the right numbers in. Yeah, I don't think they did. Because,
yeah,
Yeah, but then that
easy.
angle can't be
That looks too big to be 72. Oh, goodbye.
if this is 34,
The following teams are
this has to
dismissed.
be, if
Golf,
this is 34 and this is 72,
Middle school boys
this would have to
lacrosse,
be 140. But there's no
varsity
way that
girls
can be
lacrosse.
140.
Thank you.
Because if 140 is this and 72 is that doesn't add up to 360, and it has to.
Wait, we need
So
to know
there's something wrong. Yeah, there's something wrong somewhere along the line here. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Did you get the right one? Okay. All right. So there's something going on here that's not correct, and I'm not sure what it is. So this 34 is not right. I don't think there's any way, is there? So if this is 72, let's do this as if we didn't know this angle right here. So we should be able to do it, right? So this, you know, arc ACB has to be 288. Would you agree? If that's 72. So this is probably what we need to do. So let's say we don't know that. So x is equal to half the difference, which is 288 minus 72. What's that?
216.
This is, there we got another number, 216?
Yeah.
Oh, it's half of 216 though, right?
Yeah.
Because this is 216.
108.
So it's 108. So let's say we didn't know that right there. This angle right here should be 108. Doesn't look like a 108, does it? But of course that doesn't look like a 72 arc either, because look, because this is 180. That's real close to 180. There's no way. So
I think they did that just so you can see that it shouldn't just be 360.
because watch this. If I was to if this was really 72, I don't know, let's see. This would be a quarter of it would be 90, right? So it'd be less than a quarter of it. So really it would probably only go from like there to there, right? And if I was going to draw a tangent, and these are my tangent points right here, does that make sense? So look, if I was going to draw a tangent to this,
That'd be the smallest.
it would be super big angle, wouldn't it? Well, that's not even right. So watch, if it was tangent to this, see how thick that angle is?
Yeah.
All right, and that makes more sense. It would be 108 if this was actually 72 degrees. So they messed up somewhere. Maybe they didn't mean to make that 72. Maybe they meant to make it 172.
We're just smarter than that.
Tell you what, let's do that. Let's figure out, well, I don't know.
I think they did it so you can see that you're not just supposed to be 360 right side.
But if they just ask for the arc, though, that's all you'd have to do. If they give you this, right? Because this is from the tangent from here to here, then that's the rest of the circle, isn't it? So it's just 360 minus whatever that is. I'm not really sure. So, tell you what, what's 360? Let's get their answer. Minus 360 minus 146.
That's 214.
It's 214. So this right here should be 214, right? If this was the answer, because the answer they gave was 146 in the book. So if this was 146, this arc right here should be 214. Agreed? And then we could figure out what the angle is supposed to be. But I don't know. I don't know where they messed up. They messed up somewhere, so I say phooey on that problem. All right. Yes, it does. Okay. Strawberry ice cream. Yep. All right, well, enough of that. Let me give you a worksheet, and I'll let you work on that. Sorry about that mess right there.